Today we're going to go through how to do the Principles of Design Honeycomb assignment. So if we take a look at the assignment, we have the principles, so balance, contrast, direction, emphasis, movement, and unity. And then looking at how they relate to all the different elements we've already talked about. And using simple shapes and simple things to kind of visually explain them. Okay, so we're going to take this and make our own visual representations for the 6 words up here. So if you look here with balance, all of these number ones are showing balance using the different elements. So balance using points, balance using line, balance using shapes, using value, texture, and so forth. What we're going to be doing is creating something that looks like this, but represents these 6 things. So the first thing we need to do is go back to the classroom and download the template. So right here, I'm going to click download up at the top. Once it's downloaded, we're going to open it. Now remember, when you download it, it's in your download folder. So what we're going to do right off the bat is go File, Save As, go to our F drive, find our Photo 10 folder, our Mod 1, and then save it in there. So we now have our honeycomb that looks very similar to the example in the classroom. So this one. So what I want you to do is you're going to create using the shape tool, a visual representation for each of these 6. So let's start with balance. You can pick any of the honeycombs. In your shape tool, when you right click it, if you go to custom shape tool, if you see right up here, this is new, it pops up. What I want you to do is to make sure that you have all of the shapes, you're going to need to go right click, or you need to click on this, sorry, and you're going to click on all. So you want to make sure, and you'll go append, so you'll have all of the shapes in there. Otherwise you might only have a few depending on who's used your computer before. So I have a whole bunch of different options other than just a square, a circle, and ovals. So for balance, we want to create something that has equal parts on both sides of it, potentially using similar shapes or sizes. So let's start with, maybe we'll do this flower. Okay, so I picked that one. I'm going to do it in this green box here. If you want it to be the exact same color, you can click up here and use the eyedropper to get the exact color. So I'm going to draw that out. Now if you need to move it, you need to go to the Move tool. So try and put it in the middle. Now for this assignment, I want you to incorporate a minimum of 3 different shapes for each visual representation. So on its own, this does show balance. It's a radial design. It all stems from the middle, but I want to add a bit more to it so that it shows balance. So maybe what we want to do, let's see what else we got. Maybe we're going to add a circle. Now green on green isn't really going to work, so I'm going to go in here and change the color of it. I'm going to move it so it's in the middle. Now do you see how that's jumping? That might be a little bit of an issue for us in this assignment. So what I want you to do is go View and Unsnap. So what it's doing right now is it's snapping to that imaginary grid. If that's troublesome, then turn it off, and do you see how it can move around and it's not snapping around? So I have that in the middle, still balanced. Maybe I want to add a few more things to it. Maybe we'll add some little guys. So I want those to be green. And maybe I want to have these on every second petal. Now if I want to have the exact same one and not have to try and fight to make them exactly the same, I can go right click and I'm going to duplicate it. So I have a copy and I can take it and put it up there and continue. We can do that again. Duplicate layer. Okay. And one more to make it balanced, because right now not having it there, it's not balanced. With this assignment, if you're having issues trying to figure out what any of those words mean, look them up. Google is your friend. That's an okay thing to do. So I now have a balanced visual little graphic, okay? With this assignment, your layers are going to get out of control. So what I'm going to suggest is that you click the little folder. We're going to call it Balance. And I'm going to drop all of, oh, I didn't spell balance right. I'm going to drop all of them into, so I'm just clicking and holding into that folder, because once I'm done with it, I can click on it and then it's just a tiny little package and it's not making a huge mess on my layers palette. Now, the other thing I want you to do is add in text that explains to me which one it's supposed to represent. So clicking on my text tool, if I want it to be green to match, grab that green, pick a font that I like. Let's try that one. Now it's way too big. Probably want to make it a little bit bigger than that. So in each of these, you're still looking at the composition within it, looking at it as a whole as you're putting it together. With this, if you were wanting to have it, say, on the side here, remember if I go Control T, I get these little toggles and I can rotate it. So if I wanted to have it here, I could rotate it and put it there. Okay, so you're going to create a graphic in each of these with the list provided.